Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Caitlin. This is my husband Carlos, and today we are celebrating 5 years of marriage. So this video is going to be a Q&A about all things marriage over on Instagram. Carlos and I posted on our stories asking you guys to ask us questions.
So the first question that we received is from an anonymous donor. So they asked the question, do you curse?
Do you?
No, I do not.
Have you ever cussed in your entire life?
Only to try it. One time I was at a baseball game.
How old were you?
I was like 12 or 13, and my friend was like, cursing is the best. It just like you let it out, and I'm like, no, I've never really like curse. I don't really like it. One of the guys that stroke out, he wasn't even part of my team, and then I just looked up and I was like, bleep, and then I looked down. I was like, that didn't feel good. I'm not doing that ever again. So,
and then you literally never cussed again?
Yeah, no, I never liked it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, even now, to this day.
Oh my gosh.
Lord is my witness.
I do not curse. I did before I was saved. I had a really bad mouth, actually.
Sailor's tongue.
You never knew me then.
No, but you would tell me, and I can just tell.
It is honestly so crazy how the Lord sanctified that part of my life. When I was a senior in high school, I gave my everything to the Lord, and I asked him to purify my tongue, like to purify what I say, and you would not even recognize the person that I was in high school compared to who I am now, and all glory is to God. So the answer is no, we don't curse. But I would like to ask the person who asked this question, do you? Okay, the next question is, how did Carlos propose?
That's a really great question.
Short version is, he took me on a date. I was not suspicious at all. I had absolutely no idea. So we're sitting at dinner, and he had printed out, I kid you not, like 40 photos of us. And it was a sweet gesture, but he cut the photos into puzzle pieces and then had me piece them together. So we're sitting at dinner for like 2+ hours, and I've only completed like 2 of the 40
she took
pictures.
Forever, and I'm getting text messages from people like, yo, where are you guys?
So then we left dinner, and I look over at him, and I'm like, he looks so nervous.
I was pooping bricks.
That's not even the right phrase.
Yes, it is.
He couldn't even hold a normal conversation with me. So then we parked and we started walking down this trail.
You have to tell them that this is the spot where we would go after every single argument.
No, not just argument.
I'm just kidding.
There was a spot.
This was like our spot every single week. We would go after college. We would go sit, just talk every single week. There was roses that led up to our bench, and on the bench I had a bouquet of flowers, of roses actually.
So beautiful.
And each rose represented the way that I was gonna love her going into marriage.
So that actually leads into our next question, which is, how did you both decide or realize that it was time to get engaged? Before we even started dating, and this might sound crazy, but we had been really, really close friends for an entire year. And so before we even started dating, we had the conversation of like, do we really feel like this is going to end in marriage? And both of our answers were yes.
Yeah.
And so we went into dating knowing that there's a really, really high chance that we're going to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everyone's relationship is different. For us, that's how it was. That kind of plays a part in when and how we decided it was time for you to propose. Because it wasn't, are we going to get married? It was, when are we going to get married?
So I got interviewed to be the youth pastor at Lakeshore, and I told them, well, actually they asked me if I'm in a relationship, and then I said, yes, I'm gonna propose soon. So literally the day before we left, like, I proposed to you.
So he proposed on a Thursday night, and then Friday morning at like 6 a.m. we flew out here to Texas, and that's when we started doing like in-person interviews. I feel like our story is definitely not the norm for a lot of people, but I feel like everyone's story has like different details and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I like this question. How do you honestly not get tired or bored of each other after so many years? Starting off this relationship with just being best friends, knew that I was gonna date my best friend, knew that I was gonna marry my best friend, knew that I was going to live life with my best friend. I think that's like the biggest thing, honestly.
You can love someone without liking them. We liked each other so much before we fell in love, and so I think that's really a key foundation. Like, if you're dating someone, it can be easy to fall in love, but is it easy to like that person? Like, do you like their habits, and do you like just who they are as a person? That's really huge. But I think some practical things. Number one, I think it is perfectly healthy to also have your own hobbies. No, I'm not saying have your own lives, but to have your own hobbies. Like, whenever we first got married, we kind of found a rhythm of like, we would come home from work, we would have dinner together, and we would watch a show together, like do something to spend time together, and then he would go play video games and I would watch YouTube, or I would like do just something that I really enjoy. So I think it's really important to have things that you enjoy doing on your own, to kind of still be your own person, but then you come back together and you're like, oh yeah, like I missed you while you were gone. It's kind of like distance makes the heart grow fonder type thing, even if you're just in like different rooms of the house. You should be very careful with that and make sure that you're keeping healthy boundaries and not like establishing separate lives.
And I think it's also super important to date your spouse. I think that keeps the marriage alive. It keeps it fun.
Yeah, and I think another thing is to laugh together. One of our favorite things to do together at night is kind of like throughout the week, as we're like on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, we'll save things that we think are really funny, and instead of sending them to each other on Instagram, we'll wait until we're in bed together at night and we'll scroll through and just watch each other's funny videos that we saved. And I think just like laughing together reminds you like why you married that person in the first place. Like you just enjoy spending time together. So the next question is, how did you know he was the right one? I was at a preview day for the Bible college that he was already a student at. So he was in his first semester. I was about to graduate high school. I noticed him from across the room. I was like a couple rows behind him, and I couldn't even focus on worship because I was just looking at him, and in my head I'm like, he's so cute. So I had my eye on him like from the first moment that the day started. And then we did this icebreaker where current students had to cross the room and introduce themselves to a prospective student. And I'm standing there with my best friend, and Carla starts walking across the room, and I'm looking at her freaking out because I'm like, he's walking towards me, but there's no way he's actually coming to talk to me. Sure enough, came straight to me, introduced himself to me. I was just like,
you was blushing.
I was blushing hardcore. But then he walked away, and I looked at my best friend and I was like, I'm gonna marry him. I thought there was like a 25% chance that it would actually happen.
Yup.
But I spoke it, and so that's how I knew
existence.
he was cute, and then God just took care of the rest.
And whatnot. How do you keep your lives aligned and centered with God? I honestly, it's truly just putting God first in every single aspect of our lives. There's somebody who told us early on in our marriage, said it's so important to pray for your spouse. Praying for your spouse not only puts God in the center, but it also keeps you guys so connected.
And also praying together every single day. At some point in the day, usually it's breakfast for us, like we just pray over the food together, and then we pray for God to be with us in our day and like pray for specific needs going on that day. We always make a point to pray together at least once in the day, and that's one of the most like aligning and unifying things you can do as a couple, is making sure that you're honoring God and seeking God together. I think also having conversations about like, what is God speaking to you?
Yeah,
what
I think
is,
that's so
like,
important.
what
Like what you're reading the Bible that morning,
Yeah.
how's your Devo, or like keeping each other accountable with our relationship with God. Like distracted right now, are you idolizing other things? Are you struggling right now? Like, are you waking up too late and not spending enough time with the Lord in the morning? I know you tell me that all the time. But,
And I don't do it in a mean way. I do it because I want that for you. But I think especially sharing when you're struggling, like if you're struggling with a sin or struggling with temptation, that can be one of the most divisive things if you're keeping it from your spouse, because you guys share like the most intimate bond of any relationship in the entire world. And so if there's something that's on your heart and on your mind that you're not sharing, that can easily cause like misalignment and kind of take God out of the center. Yeah,
and like something that the devil's gonna try to lie about is the fact that like it's gonna divide your marriage so much more if you tell the person. Like it's better to hide it. It's such a lie, because truly our marriage is built on unconditional love, and regardless of our mistakes, like we're still gonna love each other and give the grace that we need.
Okay, and then we're gonna end it with one just like fun question for each other.
After this, can I play League of Legends? Can I get electric drums?
What's the most annoying thing I do?
Make me clean when I don't want to.
Bro, it's your house too.
I know, but I don't feel like cleaning, bro.
Ever.
Like,
you don't feel like cleaning ever.
No, eventually I will clean it up.
When is eventually? Next year?
Bro, this woman wants us to vacuum every single day.
Yeah, because we have a toddler and 4 dogs in the house right now. That is normal to vacuum every day.
That is one of the most annoying things that you do.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Love you. We're praying for you, and we'll see you in our next video.